it seems like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are either going to have to kiss and make up or someone's going to have to go. Now, here's the problem for me. I don't like any of them. I think they've all done a shit job. These are, to me, they're the Epstein three. Bongino, Patel, and Bondi, who, told us, oh, yeah, when we get in there, guys, I mean, all the Epstein stuff, you're getting it all. And we're going to hold all these monsters accountable for all the trafficking and all the underage sex and all that stuff. We're going to get them. And then they get in there and they go, trafficking, what trafficking? Victims, what victims? Client list, what client list? Guys, you're being conspiracy theorists. Come on. This is all Hillary and Comey and Obama, and they're trying to get us. Guys, there's this Epstein. He was just an accountant dude. He was a numbers guy. And you're like, no, wait a minute. This is what Democrats are supposed to do. This is what the deep state people are supposed to do. You're not supposed to, you were supposed to bring balance to the force, not lead it into darkness. So I don't like Pam Bondi. I don't like Kash Patel. I don't like Dan Bongino. A pox on all their houses. But it does sound like Pam Bondi is going to be the survivor in this whole thing. And that's unfortunate because what she said yesterday about free speech and hate speech sounds like it could have come from an Obama or Biden official. Like, what's the point of voting in other people if the new boss is going to be the same as the old boss? Let's play the Pam Bondi clip of her talking about free speech and hate speech. She knew she fucked up. She knew that this was a problem because she literally spent the rest of the day yesterday trying to walk back and clarify these comments. Let's fire up old Pam.
There's
Bondi.
Free speech and then there's hate speech.
No, there's not. There is free speech. That's it. Free speech is to protect hate speech. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but that's the only reason free speech exists. You do not need free speech to say someone's pretty. You do not need free speech to say the government's doing a great job. There has never been a government in the history of mankind that has killed people for saying they're star-spangled awesome. You don't need free speech for that. Free speech is so that you can go, oh, yeah, that Nazi guy? I agree with him. Or, hey, those people over there? I fucking hate them. Those people over there are pieces of shit. God, I hope they die. That's what free speech is for. Free speech is to protect the ugliest shit someone could possibly think to say. Free speech is to protect the most critical shit somebody could possibly say. Free speech is there to protect the negatives of human expression. Because even though we don't like it, even the old quote, even though I disagree with what you say, I will fight to the death your right to say it. That's what free speech is. That is the very essence of free speech. I hate that thing you just said. But you can say it. And the only answer to hate speech is more speech.
And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society.
Do you see?
Watch it. Again, to quote Crowder, fucking watch it. I almost feel like I need that as a drop. This is what they do. This is where there is no daylight between the left and the right. And this is where you need to unhook yourself from supporting political people and you need to support your principles because the left and the right will both always do this. They are authoritarians. Power is their ultimate objective. They will take a tragedy and they will manipulate it and they will use it to get what they want. 9/11, the meltdown of 2008 and all. I mean, look, Obama did it after the Great Recession. He wanted to get all kinds of government giveaway programs and he wanted to get his healthcare legislation passed. Now, he didn't get his healthcare legislation passed. What he passed was a Republican plan. He passed a giveaway to the insurance companies. If you think that Obamacare was any kind of foray into socialized medicine, you're fucking retarded. Obamacare was a capitalist, Republican, crony capitalist, government-sponsored welfare program to the people Luigi Mangione shot in the back. That's what Obamacare was. In no way was that socialized medicine or even a Democrat plan. But I digress, as the great Karmic X would say. Pam Bondi saying that Especially that's the scariest part when she says not hate speech, especially now. No. Especially now, we need to defend free speech. I've said it before, and I know this is unpopular. I'm even really squeamish about the people getting fired for emotionally tweeting. I think there's got to be a certain level of grace after a tragedy for people to say fucked up shit because you're emotional. You're not thinking straight. You know, that it's a death. We got to start giving people grace to fuck up. But I guess when you divide people to this level, and this is the brilliance of the right and the left, divide your own camps and then speak to your camp after a tragedy and convince them that we need to do this thing that may be antithetical to our ethics and our morals, but we're going to do it to fight back against these other people that we've told you to hate. I don't like it. I don't like hearing the attorney general say that, you know, that I don't like hearing the top cop, the top prosecutor sit here and say, you know what we need to do? We need to limit hate speech. Again, that's something like if I wanted that, I could have voted for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris would have told me that same thing.
To Charlie in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across.
Guys, this is where in the past we would fucking pick up muskets and show up at the Capitol. This is an infringement on your First Amendment rights she's talking about. This has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. If you back this kind of talk because MAGA, fucking congratulations. This is how liberty dies. Congratulations. I don't care. Like when it comes to this, don't tie this to Charlie Kirk. This is not a Charlie Kirk thing. This is a power thing. This is a tyranny thing. This is not okay. I don't fucking care about your political parties. I don't care about your Republicans and your Democrats. I don't care about your Young Turks and your Turning Point USAs. Fuck them all. No, it's all horseshit compared to how I feel about the First Amendment of the Constitution. And when we have a top government official in the administration saying, we will make an example out of you. We will come after you if you look, the jobs are one thing. Like I said, if you tweet out that you're glad Charlie Kirk's dead and a government official says we're going to come get you, I will hide you at my house. And I detest that shit. I think that's ugly. I think that's terrible. But I also believe you're allowed that fucking opinion without worrying about losing your freedom or the government coming after you. I stand with people's right to say the shittiest things imaginable about Charlie Kirk without the government coming in and quote unquote, to quote Pam Bondi, going after them. That is so fucked up, and I hope you agree with that too. This scares me in terms of long term, in terms of the health of the country. This kind of talk scares me more than what happened to Charlie Kirk. Because what happened to Charlie Kirk was a political assassination. We've had those before. They're terrible. They're awful. They're really, really sad. But to hear the attorney general say that we will come after you if you direct hate speech at people, again, I could have voted for a third Obama term. I could have voted for Kamala Harris. I could have voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 if I wanted that. I don't want that. I need to hear that shit again.
Absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
Okay, lock her up. Lock her up. Lock her up. Get rid of her too. This isn't the Trump administration I asked for. This isn't the Trump administration. If you think 2016 MAGA is 2025 MAGA, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. The fruit's spoiled. The fruit is absolutely spoiled. This is not okay. I support anyone saying anything fucked up about anybody and the government not fucking with you. Matt Walsh tweeted, let's hear defender of freedom, Matt Walsh. Well, first of all, Mike Cernovich says, we don't need DOJ to prosecute hate speech. Pam Bondi really isn't ready for this moment, not to mention the Epstein files nonsense. We need criminal acts by Antifa prosecuted and RICO. Plenty of laws on the books for acts, not words. Just needs to happen. Matt Walsh says there should be social consequences for people who openly celebrate the murder of an innocent man. I mean, if people had a rough take on George Floyd, were there a lot of people who were fired? I don't know. That's not me trying to make a point. I'm asking, do we have examples of that? But there obviously shouldn't be any legal repercussions for hate speech, which is not even a valid or coherent concept. There is no law against saying hateful things, and there shouldn't be. Okay, good. Good. Although this administration has gone after people for saying fucked up shit about Israel. They've manipulated and they've leveraged those people's legal status in our country, their visa status in our country, to go after them for their thoughts on Israel on college campuses. That's 1,000% happened. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, I've heard enough. I'm calling Aaron's boss right now. He's a prick. He really is not going to do anything. He's actually, if I may, absentee landlord. Phantom X says, Aaron, 2025 MAGA doesn't want government hate speech crap. We just want to hold the left to standards they used against us. The standards they used against you are taking away your freedom of speech. So go ahead. Do it. Do everything I fucking warned you against for 10 years. Go ahead and say, Aaron, I just want to hold the left to the same standard. I don't. The standard the left holds us to is tyranny. Is you say a fucked up thing, we're going to come get you. I got bad news. If you want to play by those rules, they're more than happy to do the same thing. So congratulations. You know who wins? Everybody with an R or a D next to their name. They'll keep all the money. They'll keep all the influence while you fight with your fucking neighbor because you got to get them lefties. I would much rather have people say shitty things about Charlie Kirk all fucking day in their miserable little cesspool pit, wherever they are, than play by the left's rules. You understand, if you play by the left's rules, you lose. It's over. You've lost. I don't want to play by the left's rules. Professor Tie-Dye with $1 says MAGA will die on the girl boss cross. I like that phrase. GOP put a blonde bimbo MILF as the AG simply because boomer men find her sexy over Gates, who would get the job done. I do think that Matt Gaetz would have done a great job. But, you know, he fucking hung around too many 17-year-olds. What are you going to do? Joey Caravello with $2 says, Aaron, have you ever wanted to just put on a porno during the show? No. Never. I've never wanted to put on a porno during the show. But thank you for asking. I do appreciate you asking. No, I don't. That worries the shit out of me. And Pam Bondi spent the rest of the day, like, she saw the writing on the wall. She saw what people were saying about it, and she went, oh, no, let me clarify. I don't, no, it's not, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean the thing that I said. I meant something other than what I said. McBuster says, Bondi, Nome, Tulsi, DEI, MAGA bullshit. Somebody did ask, Caliente says, you don't remember the lady getting fired for saying all lives matter? No, I don't remember it. I wasn't asking that like it never happened. I was saying, can you give me examples? Because those are wrong too. Coltrane says, I don't agree with Bondi at all on the hate speech thing. I do, however, find nothing wrong with investigating those that are inciting actual violence or funding rioting. I'm going to need a really clear definition on what funding rioting means. Do you mean donating to a nonprofit that then funds a protest that turns violent? No, I don't think you should get in trouble for that at all. At all. I believe the people who did the rioting, the people who threw the rocks, the people who set the fires, they're the ones who should be prosecuted. What you're talking about, you're letting these people talk you into tricking yourself into taking away your own freedom. That's what you're doing. You hate George Soros. That's what it is. And they're using your hatred of George Soros. You want to see George Soros taken away in handcuffs. Fact is, George Soros hasn't broken the law in that sense. He's donated money to foundations. Those foundations fund protests. And yes, some of them have turned violent. He should not be prosecuted for that. In this country, you get prosecuted for throwing a rock. You don't get prosecuted for buying a rock, giving it to somebody. They give it to someone else. They give it to someone else, and they throw it through a store window. That's not how we work here. And if that's the country you want to live in, I'll be on the other side of you in the Civil War, I guess. Because I'm not going to play the conspiracy 3 levels down game. Like, I don't know. To me... I think a lot of people they want to own the libs, but they don't understand that in order to own the libs, they're becoming one themselves. Stolen Hellcat says that's a slippery slope of excusing crime. Okay, fine. I'd rather 10 guilty men go free than one innocent person be locked up. Because I can't wait until it's used against you. Again, guys, please, I know you're emotional. Think this through. You think that under a Republican administration, them trying to lock Soros up using RICO because he donated money to a group who then funded a protest that then turned violent. You don't think that when a Democrat, you don't think Joe Biden or Barack Obama wouldn't do that to you or somebody you know in a fucking heartbeat, especially to get back at you. You're out of your goddamn cocksucking mind. Out of your mind. King Kong Dong says, fuck that. Patriot Act is bad enough. Yeah. Absolutely. So, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, if you fucking fund a thing. No, George Soros, no arresting George Soros for that. Nope. So Pam Bondi yesterday, do we have the clips? We have a couple clips of her trying to walk it back. I don't trust her, so I'm not going to let her walk it back. Pam Bondi, hate speech. She showed us who she was, and that's all I need. Tucker unleashes on Pam Bondi. Oh, you know what? Let's listen to Tucker, and then we'll move on from this. I promise you.
The chief law enforcement officer of the United States telling you that there is this other category called hate speech, and of course the implication is that's a crime. There's almost no sentence that Charlie Kirk, and I'm not running the risk of appropriating his memory for my own ends by saying this. It's provable. There's no sentence that Charlie Kirk would have objected to more than that.
Right.
And you've got to think the Attorney General didn't think it through and was not attempting to desecrate the memory of the person she was purporting to celebrate, that she just threw that out there, that she hadn't thought about it. You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors,
psychopaths,
to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that.
That would never happen. You would never have the leader of a movement die and then the people who take over that movement bastardize it to their own ends. That would never happen. Like, let's say Bill Ackman threatened Charlie Kirk in not the Poconos, the Hamptons. And Charlie Kirk turned down his money to be nicer to Israel. And they said, boy, this Jack Posobiec, he might be a little nicer to the Israelis. He might be a little more supportive of Israel. You'd hate to think that would be the case.
You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country.
If Turning Point USA in the next year becomes like this pro-Israel, they can do no wrong, we love Netanyahu organization, you will not be able to convince me that Charlie Kirk wasn't murdered by someone other than Tyler Robinson.
And trust me, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that. Ever.
Thank you, Tucker.
Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being.
Tucker says it. You guys will go, I sit here and scream it and make it funny and more animated, I don't know, Aaron. I'm fucking smart. I'm goddamn brilliant. I've only been fucking smart and brilliant for the last decade, and goddamn hilarious doing it. Time to start giving me my credit. Tucker, continue. I apologize, my son.
With a soul, a free man has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views. And by the way, that thinking, and not to pile on the Attorney General, who's a very nice person,
Yeah.
but that thinking
I'll take your word for
just
it.
articulated on camera there is exactly what got us to a place where some huge and horrifying percentage of young people think it's okay to shoot people you disagree with, to kill Nazis
Yes.
for saying things they don't like. Why do they believe that? How did we get here? Is it the video games? Is it the SSRIs? Yeah, probably. But what it really is 12 and then 16 years of indoctrination in our schools at the hands of people who tell them that, who say exactly what the Attorney General just said. Well, there's free speech, which of course we all acknowledge is important, so important. But then there's this thing called hate speech.
There's not.
Hate speech, of course, is any speech that the people in power hate,
Right.
but they don't define it that way. They define it as speech that hurts people, speech that is tantamount to violence. And we punish violence, don't we? Of course we do. They've been taught that every year of their lives. And so naturally, most of them believe it. So when Charlie Kirk is shot in the throat with a 30-06 on camera, I doubt very many young Americans want to see something like that or actually applaud the death of a man, a father, a husband. But they've been told for their entire lives in schools exactly what Pam Bondi just told them. Well, there's free speech, but then there's also hate speech, and woe to those who engage in it because it's a crime.
Bravo, Tucker. Brilliant work. And also, you've been told your whole life that there's Democrats and Republicans and they're on opposite sides and they're fighting for the soul of this country. That's complete bullshit. Power is for power. Power serves power. It is great that you were part of the MAGA movement. It is great that you supported Donald Trump. I think that's great. But I've said this to you guys, again, for a decade. The minute the person you like gains power, you need to turn against them immediately. The minute Donald Trump was sworn in, you have to go, okay, now I'm the resistance. If you're for freedom, if you're for small government, the minute the guy you support becomes powerful, that's your fox and the hound moment. That's where you go, okay, now I got to keep an eye on you because you have way more power than I'm comfortable with any human being having, and I got to make sure I slow your roll. But too many people, they treat this like sports, and I'll be honest, it's because we have too many people voting. And we have too many people involved in politics. That if you're going to protect a free society, you have to be against the powerful. You have to be against power. You have to constantly be checking it. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, look up what George Washington said about the two-party system. He was against it. He was against political parties. He was against... George Washington was also against the idea of entangling. He said, avoid entangling alliances. And I would say that Israel and NATO are an entangling alliance, and I don't think we should be involved with either of them. Either of them. Plankton says, we believe Tucker because he can change a tire. You watched me change a tire. You watched me fucking do it. You know I can change a tire. You just don't like that I can because I proved you wrong. I've been doing this too. Let's get the latest from Pam Bondi here. Pam Bondi her stock has lowered so much in my eyes since the start of this Charlie Kirk thing. I worry with her in there. I mean, first she said something as stupid as free speech does not protect hate speech. And like, dipshit, yes, that's all it protects. You don't need free speech to go, oh, the sun is shining. Nobody throws you in jail on a cloudy day to say, I think the sun's going to come out. It doesn't happen. Free speech is there specifically to protect speech that would piss off the rich, piss off the powerful, piss off the government, piss off the power structure. That's what it's there to protect. So she already fucked up on that one. Then she tried to walk it back and she told us, well, I didn't really mean that. That was all a misquote. And okay, once is a mistake, twice is a pattern. Let's see if we can get her Let's see if we can get her to clarify in this next clip here.
That's horrific. It's free speech, but you shouldn't be employed anywhere if you're going to say that. And employers, you have an obligation to get rid of people. You need to look at people who are saying horrible things, and they shouldn't be working with you.
I just want to point out that this is the Attorney General of the United States government telling employers that they should fire, they should not be working with people. They should fire people who say offensive things. Again, if you run your business and you decide you want to can people for saying offensive things, that is your call. You can do that 100%. But the Attorney General should not be saying shit like that. The Attorney General, the top law enforcement agent in the country, should not be putting their thumb on that scale. Like, I know some of you thought I was crazy when I was yelling at the FCC commissioner, but this is the Attorney General that's sitting there telling businesses you should fire people who say offensive shit. You know, some people find being pro-life, they find that offensive. Should they fire all their pro-life employees? I mean, again, this is what I try to get people to understand. This Charlie Kirk thing ain't going to last forever. This blade cuts both ways. If you want to fire people because you don't like what they're saying, that's fine. If you're the Attorney General, I want you to butt the fuck out. That's not the dumbest thing she said. Then she said this right after.
Working with you. Businesses cannot discriminate. If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that.
No, you can't. You can't prosecute them for that. They have a right to refuse service to anyone unless it's based on race, creed, religion, disability. You have the right to go, we don't print that kind of stuff here. Stop it. This woman needs to stop it because she's the Attorney General. She's supposed to know the law like the back of her hand. And this is not the first time I've been associated with someone where I know more about the law than they do. I've been here before. It's a very frightening place to be because I don't know shit. But I know that if a printing place says we don't want your business and it's because of the kind of flyer you want, okay, Pam Bondi, let's take that out to its logical conclusion. Somebody wants to go out and print a bunch of swastikas at your company. You're saying that that business has to let those people print those swastikas or otherwise you can prosecute them. No, of course not. They have a right to refuse service.
Harmeet Dillon right now in our civil rights unit looking at that. Immediately that Office Depot had done that. We're looking at that. But Sean, you know.
I mean, and that's the end of the clip. Dude, Matt Gaetz I would hope that Matt Gaetz would not have done all this shit that she's doing. She's insane. I mean, she's stupid too. This is what she's saying is demonstrably false. Mad Move says this is all about getting boomer mega seals to clap for the eroding of the First Amendment. I know, because when you have these people who elected Trump and part of their big thing was, yeah, bring back the First Amendment. We love our free speech. If you can get those people to go, yeah, except when it comes to Charlie, you know, we should arrest people. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, man.